What's going on, guys? My name is Nick, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to Investing Engineered. So the topic about investing versus gambling recently came up in my life through a few experiences I had last week, and I thought this would prove to be a great video idea to discuss today. Unfortunately, time and time again, people have argued that there's absolutely no difference between so-called investing and casino-style gambling. But this misconception is so important to understand because having this mentality can actually have a very negative impact on people's financial lives. People might not even consider investing to create long-lasting future wealth in their lives just because they think it's so tied to gambling. This mindset also gives false credit to the casino industry, where they make you think that you can get rich quick. And so I just wanted to share my recent experience with you about what I saw, what I heard, and now what I understand about this highly debated topic. I'll also be giving you the most compelling reasons, in my opinion, why investing is so much better than gambling, and how investing can be a long-term wealth generator while gambling is just a short-term addiction. But before forming an opinion and making a comment in the section below, just be sure to watch this video to its entirety, just so you can gather exactly what I'm talking about. So if you do end up enjoying the video, be sure to smash the like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on personal finance, business, and investing. And with that said, let's jump into my story and my recent experience and why investing is always and without a doubt the best way to go. So I recently came back from a business trip, and one of the guys that I met on that trip invited me out one night to go play blackjack at the local casino with a bunch of the boys, and it would be a good time. Now, in order to make this story complete, there's one thing that you need to know about me, and that's that I was raised in a very strict household. And this involved strong views against gambling for obvious reasons. So naturally, when my friend invited me out, I had the plan to not gamble my money, but just to watch and actually learn the game, which is exactly what I did. So as I was watching the game, I was asking my friends as well as the dealer how some of the rules worked and how to actually win the game. The dealer seemed to be pretty friendly, so I continued by asking him the question, what are the odds of winning this game? And so the blackjack dealer looked me dead straight in the eyes and asked me, do you want to know exactly where you can be guaranteed to make money in this place? And of course I replied, hell yes! To which he then replied nowhere and began to laugh hysterically. Now obviously this wasn't too much of a surprise to me because I've been raised by very strict parents and they told me that the house always has the advantage. So I then asked him again, what exactly are the odds of winning blackjack? So it turns out that he knew exactly the answer, and that the odds for the player are 47% versus the house having a 53% advantage. Anyways, the guys that I was watching had a great start to the night and actually won a little bit of money, but left everything on the table, and 3 out of 4 of them lost everything in about an hour's time. And so a few nights later, I told my other friend about what had happened at the casino and how they lost all of their money. And she asked me, why didn't you gamble? And so I told her I'd prefer to invest my money elsewhere where I know I can actually make a solid return on my investment. And that's the point where she blurted out, well, there's absolutely no difference between investing and gambling anyways, so you might as well have tried. Now this comment right here was the purpose and motivation of this video because it really caught my attention. There's clearly such a lack of knowledge in this area that we really need to discuss it and really dig deep into the details. So for the rest of this video, I hope that I can convince you that investing is much better than gambling and that you can make a lot more money in the long run. Alright guys, so the first key difference between investing and gambling is that the expected returns are actually positive. Now this might sound ridiculous to have to mention, but the odds of the casino will definitely screw you over in the long run, and a lot of people don't understand that. As many of you already know, when you gamble at the casino, the odds are already set against you. And in the best case scenario, considering you're an expert at the game, your odds are still below 50%, meaning that you're still at a loss even when you understand all of the rules and you make all of the right moves all the time, because you can know that the dealer is doing the exact same thing on the opposite end with the advantage. So if you aren't good at the game and you don't make all of the right moves or understand all the rules, your odds of winning are actually going to decrease even further. I am sorry. Just like I mentioned before, the blackjack dealer literally told me that the odds of the player winning the game are 47 in 100. And on average, this translates to losing 53 out of every 100 games that you play, which could go by in a span of about 2 hours. So looking at the grand scheme of things in the casino, every single game or machine that you play, you're almost guaranteed to always lose if you keep playing over time. This is because the casino is a business, and businesses, as we know, are great at generating cash flow and being profitable. Casinos would not have been around for so long if they were losing money all the time. Now, on the other hand, when you're investing, the expected returns are actually positive. For example, the S&P 500 General Stock Market Index of the USA has had a return of about 10% before inflation every single year over the past 100 years. Now, even though there might be these huge fluctuations and crashes and dips, it doesn't matter because in the long run, you're almost guaranteed to make money. You can always be sure that over the long term, populations will grow, inflation will happen, and there will be higher demand for products. Therefore, corporate America will continue to grow and be able to reward shareholders through that increased profitability in the future. And not even by investing your money in index funds, just by choosing individual stocks, you can easily beat out gambling any day. Just as an example, you can actually own casino companies and buy shares in casino companies that pay very good dividends, and you can benefit from their increased profitability year over year. So overall, the odds are basically always going to be in your favor for investing, while in gambling, the odds are always going to be out of your favor. Now, the second way to differentiate between investing and gambling is through loss mitigation. When I say loss mitigation, think about the ways that you can prevent your money from being lost if something bad were to happen. Now, think about when you're gambling and you've got all of your money on red in roulette, because there's absolutely nothing stopping you from losing 100% of that money that's on the table. Now, this applies to most of the games in the casino. As soon as you put your money on that table, it's gone if you lose. Now, despite both gambling and investing involving risk of your principal, investing has many different ways for you to mitigate your losses. First of all, I just want to say that it's very unlikely for you to lose all of your money if you're following a conservative, diversified investing style. But even if your stocks do go down in price, it doesn't even mean that you lost your money. What I do when my stocks go down is I actually hold them and I buy more shares at a discounted price, just waiting for those shares to reappreciate, and then I can make even more money. And if you've chosen the right companies with strong fundamentals, this should not be an issue. Secondly, you can apply stop losses to your portfolio, which will automatically sell your stocks when the market price hits a certain lower threshold. So if you bought a stock at $200 per share and you didn't want to lose more than 10% of your investment at any point, you could apply a stop loss to this at $180, and then the market would automatically sell your stock at $180 if it were to drop more than 10%. So this method essentially protects you from future losses if they do occur. Thirdly, dividend investors can actually reduce their risk by actually receiving these dividends from the companies, which are cash payouts every 3 months. Essentially, this pays off a portion of their invested capital and puts less money on the table, and so it reduces their risk. And so as you can see, there are many different ways that the investor can take control of his or her investments and have less risk on the table. Finally, the last and most important reason why investing will always differ from gambling is in the fact that you can actually learn and understand what you're doing to be able to take advantage of this and enhance your returns. When you're gambling, the only thing that you can be sure about is that your odds of winning are going to be below 50%. Therefore, it involves an uncontrolled and uncertain outcome, which leads to failure. If we take blackjack, for example, you can learn the game all you want, know all the rules, and try and make all the right plays, but when the game starts, there's no way that you're going to know where it's going to proceed, either in your favor or in the dealer's favor. And this is because the outcome is purely based on statistical odds and not skill. But on the other hand, investors actually learn their practice through mistakes and through other investors who have had a lot of time in the market, which then allows them to perform a lot better because they gain skill as time goes on. We begin to understand positive trends in the market, signs of a good business, or even signs of a good real estate deal, all of which cannot be done in gambling. Furthermore, investors have so many resources available to them to be able to make informed and good decisions. These can be all of the financial reports and indicators that companies are required to report every few months by the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC. This way, investors have the ability to learn about the company, but also to make an informed decision about that company or that investment. However, speculation comes into play when you don't research the companies that you want to invest in and do your due diligence. Thus, in this scenario, there is no difference between gambling and speculating, because you haven't done any research and taken advantage of the resources available to you. In this scenario, there is an uncertain and uncontrolled outcome, which is essentially the same as gambling. For example, if someone bought a bunch of Canopy Growth weed stock because they saw the price skyrocketing and didn't do any research on the company, this would be considered speculation and should not be considered an investment. So in summary, the key points that I discussed today were the differences between investing and gambling. The first was that expected returns are positive when you're investing, while they're known to be negative when you're gambling. For this reason, you're almost always guaranteed to lose money at the casino if you continue to gamble on a consistent basis. The second point was that investing allows you to mitigate your losses, while losses are totally uncontrolled when you're gambling. The mitigation strategies in investing that I talked about are the buy and hold strategy, stop losses, and dividend payments. And finally, I discussed the difference between investing and speculating, where investing, you're actually taking in information that you're provided and making an informed decision about your investments, while speculating is the same as gambling and you're just taking risk on your principal. Anyways, I hope you did gather some valuable information on the importance of investing rather than gambling your entire lives. If you did enjoy or gain value from this video whatsoever, just be sure to smash the like button for me. That would really help out my channel. And if you haven't already, you'll definitely want to subscribe for more content on personal finance, business, and investing in the future. Until next time.